in effect. So here on the Day of Princes, I don't know if y'all quite remember, everyone kept in mind why I have a little sort of celebration on this day. How about you, Abdul Rahman? Do you recall? You can kind of think for a little minute. True self. And that's the wisdom out of cipher. Absolutely. Why do we call this the Day of Princes? Anyone else? What is the Day of Princes? No. Wisdom. See me. Definitely got to fix that situation with the emergency. They don't show me whatsoever on the alert training. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes you gotta have a few bit of a little bit. You know, a lot of times you got all these people around. Most of them is just working against you. Sometimes it's good for us to just have a handful of people. But today is firstborn princess born. And so, you know, I like to give a shout out to you know, all the people from my parents, you know what I'm saying, as well as brothers and sisters in the nation that just to be growth and development. Yeah, of course, you know, you'll hear me constantly reiterating things that they said to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't walk around saying this stuff. Because like I said, you know, I got my own history with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's one of the greatest things that, you know, I was taught by all the different people that added on with me is not to be a follower, not to be a repeater. And, you know, to this day, I haven't done it. You know, so, you know, it's no real reason to be sad or anything, you know, it's a celebration, but we're here, you're not here with me on the Day of Princes, you know, the Day of Kings, 7-2, Day of Princes, 7-2. Of course, we missed the Day of Princesses, 7-8. What's the deal? What's going on out there with y'all? Abdul Rahman, you're being uncharacteristically quieted. Have you been learning some things on your own there without the class? I'll do a lot of money there. I guess he had to do the quick introduction. That's good. Yeah, actually, they had a new name for Abdul one. And now he's being quiet. We'll let him live. What's going on? Did we have another? Was there another? Did they call 120 lessons again on Wise's channel? Was you there for that true self? Because we really got some lag time to think. So I'm gonna I guess just go on ahead and go on a little bit of a rant, I guess, and then sign off and go continue my celebration by myself. But this is I told y'all that I was making a decision on what I was going to do for the next 10 years. And I think I've decided that it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. It is time to eliminate the negative. That's the best way I could put it. And by negative, right? I mean, the neutral, the inactive, those who don't understand, and see, that's eliminated from my side. Because everybody got grown and developed at their own pace, and that's peace. But what I've seen is that, the stage that I've reached, right, and the things that I want to do, right, the building that's necessary for that, everybody's not capable of that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone hasn't prepared themselves. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, if it's anything that needs to be done, whatever it is that must be done, right? A lot of times, people, let's call them reasons, let's not say excuses. People have reasons why, they can't participate, why they can't add on, why they can't do the things that they say they want, right? But you gotta prepare yourself. Like, if you already knew that this is what you wanted to be about, why'd you set up a life that is going to cause you to live outside of that you said you determined for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because, see, this knowledge, this like 120 lessons. See, 120 lessons, right? I was thinking about this it's something like a room where, you could like your girl and she could like you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might smile at each other all the time, but see, eventually you gotta close the deal. So everybody standing around talking, it's like that with everything that we dealing with in the nation. That we can talk about doing it, and we can talk about what a wonderful world it would be, right? When we create this utopia of all the things that we talk about there. But see, at the end of the day, right, these, every time you study your lessons, every day you go outside and you live, right, you have more experience that brings you to another degree of understanding, right, about what it means to you. So, at the end of the day, setting up home and waiting for a mystery God, when you first get the knowledge, it's just about having the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? That's about, knowing who arm, leg, arm, supreme head is. But as time goes on, right, and see a lot of these things, this is the point that we coming to right now, right? Meaning as a nation. We as individuals, right? Because we get the knowledge as children. So as individuals as well as collectively, we've reached a level of maturity now, right? Where we gotta be able to physically demonstrate things that we say. In order to be able to physically demonstrate it, it takes a level of building that the talkers is not ready for. You know what I mean? Because I keep it real with you right now. So much people be running about. I have no idea what they're talking about. And I don't have the time or the energy to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of dudes that, you got to crush on the lessons. You gotta crush on the nation. But you ain't really got no relationship with the lesson. You ain't really got no relationship with the nation. You just go around and tell people that, this is what's gonna happen and that's what's gonna happen. You see, words don't weigh that much on the scale of justice. See, your words, they don't weigh like that on the scale of justice. And like I said, you gotta go through the word. In the beginning, that's all you got. It's the word. That's where you gotta get your knowledge of God from, right? But if in the beginning was the word, then steps and stages down, if we still only got the word, then what's that telling you? You didn't go from knowledge to one. Your knowledge is not complete. It didn't add a cipher on to show that completion. See, at best, you're doing what they when people say, yeah, you went from knowledge to born and then back to knowledge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But you don't never really advance. You just get real good at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But at the end of the day, as as you know, uh, as individuals, you know what I'm saying, and as a nation, right? We gotta write our own lessons. Not saying, we want to change from a 20, nothing like that. But I'm saying that even the people, when they sum total all of this up, right? What's our contribution to the 25,000 years? You see, those words is not going away like that when it's time to write the history. It's what was the things that was manifested. That's what's going to count when it's time to count the history. When people say, okay, boom, this thing right here, how does God like that? See, that's at the end of the day when we're saying that, we can control the destiny. You see what I'm saying? That's how, just like I was saying with those videos, right? We've got the Muslim brothers and they speaking about us and the things that we do and what we about, et cetera, et cetera. See, that's what you got to do. And so you might be wherever you at, right? And people's like, oh yeah, see, that came from Muslims. That's it. That's an offshoot of the Black Muslims. Yeah. Until you do something, you can stand alone and be on your own. And when I say you, I mean all of us or any, in any cipher. Until you show prove something from your precise square, you're always going to be known as the person that be with that person who really do that thing. So, for those that, whether you had the knowledge a while or whether you just get, you gotta realize that the time is now, right, to be able to demonstrate, right, without talking, what the knowledge is about. See, for people to just be able to look, see, that's why people deal with the devil. Because if you do establishment, right, you get all these, whatever, let's say you were selling drugs, whatever it might be, right? You get the reward for that. Rather you ultimately get a penalty, I'm saying the person, that's what it makes them continue to do it. So you want to say what the Yaqub promised his nation would do, he would do. Would you say he delivered on that? Or would you say he didn't deliver on it? So now it's the same thing, all of us, right? Collectively and as individuals, right? What did we promise our nation we would do? They would deliver on it. And see, that's the real science. That's the real science of taking mathematics to the higher levels. Yeah. Now you really, when you say sun is the blueprint to the universe, That means that this is the plans to build something. The blueprint is not the big. If I give you the blueprints to a building, you can't live in that. So, 20, I guess 2022, you could say, yeah, that was my last year doing something. That was the lesson for me, you know what I'm saying, for this year. Is that I can see that the execution. The execution of all these things that see when we talk about it, it always sounds perfect. It's just so easy. You see, that's the reality. See, a lot of people that you might be younger in the knowledge, or you might not spend a lot of time, you might be busy, you got things you got to take care of, right? Take care of yourself and your family. That's fine. That you see, when you come around and you say, yo, well, why don't you guys just do this thing right here? See, it seems all so simple when you just say it. It seems all so simple. See, when you keep everything in that baby phase like that, yeah, it's always perfect. It's always perfect when you do it like that. But then what happens when you got to start to make it walk and talk? See, like I said, that blueprint, right? That blueprint, that's 2 dimensions. See, those words, that's just sound. You see what about the light? See, what about what you can taste and touch and feel and all these other things which you can smell? See, that's what makes it totally real. Same thing as that blueprint or the lessons that we have. That's 2 dimensions right there. That paper is 2 dimensions. See, you have to give that 2 dimension, you got to give it depth. See, right there, when you read the paper, that's the length and the width of it. You see, in order to be perpendicular, in order to be on a square perpendicular, you have to give yourself depth. That's when you make it walk and talk. So, there's some of us that know how to make it talk. See, when you say, look, see, I give you an example. Try an example. See, the power degree, the knowledge equality degree, who's the 5%? It's words on the paper right there. You see, Allah gave that depth. And now we walking, talking examples of that degree. When you say, who's the people that do all the stuff that's in that degree? See, each of us, when we get the knowledge, right, and you get that first degree, who's the original man? Can you make that walk and talk? Can you be a true and living example of that was just on the paper in 2 dimensions? Because if not, right, if you can't, then you're destined to follow. And some people, look, if you're going to follow, be a good follower. You know, and one of the best ways of being good at anything is to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, man. That if you a follower, follow and play that role 100%. And if you a leader, lead and play that role 100%. Because see, once you're a leader, there's not another leader. Because only you could do your duty. See, anybody can get the job done. But only he who's qualified can do the duty. If you have a duty to do and you fail in your duty, not that you do your duty and whatever happens in the midst of that, that's something different. I'm talking about you don't do the duty. You're supposed to do something, you didn't even begin to start doing it. Somebody else can come and do the stuff that you were supposed to do, but they didn't do your duty. You still failed to do your duty. Only you can do it. So if you follow, look, only you can do that. Be good at it. You know how to tell if you follow it? You always got to tell me what somebody else said. You don't have no lessons that you've written. See, nobody can never use you for the example. Like you read the Bible with different people, Job and this person and that person and that person. You know what I mean? You can never read the example. You don't have any lessons that you wrote on your own with. You don't have to go on the next one. You say, yo, you know what? Just the other day, I was doing this, that. See, that's why y'all get all excited. Let me tell you something. I don't need to be inspired. I don't know if you can tell. See, when you hear these stories about Allah did this, Allah did that, everybody showing their teeth. This is stuff you did. All of us. This is stuff I did. See, those was the lessons that he wrote. Now you're supposed to write that lesson. See, you just want to sit back and be gods because Allah took the kids on the plane in 1968. Nah, you heard what he said? That was his time. And now this is our time. And those are the people that you know as the followers. I don't want to know war stories and dumb shit like that, but you ain't got no lessons of your own that you will. See, nobody can live at the things that you did and say, you know what, all we gotta do is keep doing it how the guy was doing. And good, because the guy was successful in his overtakings. But, listen, we've got enough great minds. You got enough great minds to analyze everybody else's story, to analyze everything that happened with everybody else or their personal business, whatever it is. We got enough people to analyze. See, yeah, we got enough people, listen, with they can analyze all the problems. You see, here's the thing with this nation, man. See, you got to be your own captain, lieutenant, and private soldier. We got no private soldiers over here. You think, you can just come in with your fancy plan, right? And then give everybody else the instructions. They're supposed to carry it out, to execute. See, first of all, that's not going to work. And I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody's not you. See, if you have a determined idea, you have to live it out. You can see, if you pass it off to me, I might don't have your same determined idea. See, you got people that do that. People come here and drop something off at the school, right? Be like, yeah, I'm dropping this off for the nation, the gods, whoever can think of something to do. That shit always ends up getting thrown out. Because you leave something here, how do you know we even know what that thing is or what it does? How do you know anybody else knows the full potential of what can be accomplished with that thing? Unless you provide the example. See, everybody else is not the arm, leg, arm, and you're the supreme head. This is not, Christianity in that sympathetic sense. You're doing one thing while you're telling everybody else to do something else. No, 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 no. And that's the reality that, I've seen this year is that, yeah, there's a lot of followers in the midst. There's a lot of followers in the midst. You see, all of us, except for me, really, gotta watch who y'all teach. Because you gotta watch who you giving this knowledge to, man. You gotta watch what you're telling them. See, we started to have different people here, we had that brother that he's pretty much a racist. He's pretty much a racist, and he's just here because he feels like this is the biggest battle that's set up between the races or something, where we saying God and devil. Now, you really trying to use this knowledge to validate your personal racism that got nothing to do with it. So you got a lot of people like, yeah, they come around and they quote the lessons, right? But they never really get nothing from it. Because they never really live it out. You quote the lessons, right? But you don't embody any of the positive principles. You quote the mathematics, but you don't embody any of the positive characteristics in it. You can't look at the things that you're doing, right? You can't look at the things that you're doing and see the evidence of the supreme mathematical pattern that you followed, that you went according to in order to do that. See, we can't stagnate. Listen, you go out there and tell people the black man's God. You know what they're gonna tell you? I heard you. Okay, you told us that. Now what? See, it's gotta be things like, see, when it tells you that Jesus produced miracles, right? We're not going into religion, we didn't get into the whole, but I'm just saying that this story says, well, you hear all these things about love. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, yo, you came out of jail, a couple years, you in college. Plane rides, dentists, going to the Apollo. Whatever the different things is, he produced things that the people could really eyewitness to. See, the followers, they want people to keep ear witnessing. See, I don't have to go back to the beginning. See, for the people that need to learn, that's peace, that's good for them. But I don't need to go back to the beginning. I already got the knowledge. See, can you tell me something about the knowledge, right, from 2023? Anybody right now that's in the room? See a couple people. 793rd, Divine Understanding, Born Power, Shaquem. Can anybody tell me anything? And you can tell me these stories of what happened in the 60s. Word for fucking word. But right now in 2023. See, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make an announcement. I need, see, a lot of y'all brothers right here, y'all ain't even here. But when people see this, right, if you are from New York, I need 10 people to come with me back to the community board. I was sitting out here in the front, and a young lady that I know, she came and she was talking to me. And as she was talking to me, a dude that's on the community board passed by. And she was telling him, like, yeah, I'm over here maintaining with the guys. So the dude says, yeah, I know them. I don't know them personally, but I know who they are because when they got that street sign, they filled up the community board meeting. That was the biggest meeting we ever had. We never had that many people in there before. We never had nobody, never was that hype about no issue. It's I've been there. That's what the dude said. Right? And then he said, I kind of wish I would come back though. It's other issues. It's other issues that y'all, actually come back. See, that's the kind of thing. See, now we take it. Now we get back in the law territory. You see? Where now if we go in there, right, and build and show them who we are, what we about, the way Allah did, then now we might have something we can say. But yeah, that's one of my new endeavors right there that I'm doing, seeing if I can, get back in the good graces of the city. I did my part in fucking the relationship up. So, that sound right there. I need 10 brothers to come with me just to the meeting, just so they can know, yeah, we have force. See, you need us for something? We need some stuff for these babies out here. We need some stuff we can do out here in the community. How about that? I think that's how the story goes. Is it type one in the box if y'all remember that story? You want something from me? I need this school over here. I need this school over here. Y'all need some trips and all that. Send it to daughters. Does that sound familiar? See, that's what I get from those stories. Like, that's how you did it, all right. See, not just getting all hype, sort of videos, fucking thing. You just worship that shit. You just a follower. That's why I wasn't excited about that. I know who Allah is because I look in the mirror. So, shout out to all my brothers, sisters, whoever else might be checking it out. You know what I'm saying? And look, shout out to the brothers and sisters that's followers. Shout out to the people who thought that, Darkim Be Allah means talking. Shout out to you, but when we see each other, say peace and keep pushing. I'm about to have a campaign against followers. Y'all have no idea how much that's under my skin right now. But in the meantime, in between time, we got anybody out there when they add on to anything before we cut it out, you know what I'm saying? I came on, today's, we usually don't bump heads with seniors, but today being the day of Princess, we had to go in, I know 793rd, he goes back and listens to it again, but the day of Princess 7/20 is firstborn prince born day. You know, 7/2 of course Day of Kings. 7/8 Day of Princesses. But yeah, if nobody else has any questions or anything to add on, we're gonna go ahead and sign off and say peace. Time to party. Bill on the clips. Oh, did you see her? I mean, see, what I wanted to do is be able to play them, and then so we could all time out them. But did you see the clips? Because yes, you know, like I said, there's a lot of things there that oh, hold on, I'm gonna type in the box right now. There's one called Muslim Mob, and the other one says something like and there's another guy, his this is the name of his channel. The first two is the like that's the video name. You Google it, those videos will come up. The last one is is uh is uh is the guy's channel. You know what I'm saying? And he has a couple of videos on his. Abdul Rahman, yeah, I don't know where you went. You was going earlier when I I got a new name for you. I'm gonna give you a chance. Clean yourself up. But yeah, so the videos for those people that might get in, the first one I introduced them is that these videos are pretty much from people that love Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? And so, my kind of I want to say critique, but just the way the picture that I get on the inside, my understanding is, in terms of how would you say theatrically, or just they're using us in the law as a storytelling device. You know what I'm saying? And so certain things is, when somebody's telling a story, right? They have a way that they see that story that they're trying to convey to the audience. You know what I'm saying? So, I thought, to me, that's just something where it's like, we're not involved, man. you know, but basically, you know, they try to, you know, maybe seem like, uh, you know, Allah is like another example of the Muslims doing somebody wrong. You know what I mean? The NOI. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, bro, look, y'all saying a lot of things like that don't nobody, you know, it's the second degree in 140. You don't know lessons. She asking me about the second degree in 140. If I told you, would you know? Yeah, these guys is really coming hard at Elijah. And see, that's another thing, man. Like, look, Elijah got to pay his, you know, whatever he did. Like, I wasn't even physically on the planet. Right? My mom's wasn't out of high school when Malcolm X got. And, and I'm not even her first child. Well, my parents didn't even know each other. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just saying, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like Elijah got it, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, he just things he did good, things he did bad. He's got to receive the rewards and the penalties for that, right? We're not involved with that condemning of Elijah, man. See, we don't have to do that because we never worshipped Elijah. See, we never told nobody he was a holy man, so now we don't gotta explain the shit away or be hurt because he disappointed us as a holy man. Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's the one of them is Omar Shabazz, like you said, the barbershop conversations guy. You know what I'm saying? A couple other people, they really do kind of like the barbershop conversations guy. He's made a movie and everything called Nine Wives. I was going to check it out. I'll check it out. You know, uh, but yeah, they and then you know I'm telling you another thing. And look, I love Malcolm too. That's what I'm saying. It's like this stuff is all convoluted, man. Like all of them, they say, look, Malcolm. They say Malcolm was upset because Elijah didn't attack the police. But here's the thing: when you started your own organization, you was more peaceful than the motherfucking you put Bayard Rustin to shame with your nonviolence when you started your own organization. And where does this idea come from that the UN is some altruistic organization that helps Black people? And you wouldn't be the first Black person to bring your case. Did you know Haile Selassie went to the UN back in the time and told them, asked them to tell Italy to chill, and they rejected him. Talking about the same UN. Like this, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that Malcolm X. You know, I'm speaking with 60 years of retrospect knowledge now of things that happened after that, right? Malcolm X that didn't happen yet. So what I'm saying is, it's the same UN that stood around with Rwanda, you know, all these things that happened. Like, bro, the UN is on 42nd Street and First Avenue. You think the people down there don't know what's going on at home? So I ain't, but like I said, it's not all of that. That's ancient history going back into stuff that. So but yeah, check them out. Check them out. So when we do discuss it, y'all can see for yourself. I'd rather you see it for yourself than me keep giving you my understanding of it. You see what I'm saying? Uh, what is this? Abdul Rahman. Why would you say something like Abdul Rahman? Abdul Rahman said Fred from Barbershop Conversations is mad because he got thrown out of Muslim Minds 27 in LA in processing class. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he got kicked out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like all of this stuff, people come out with stuff, and you hear stories about everybody. Even in terms of look, you know, even Elijah's not here right now. So this is what I'm saying. Even if you have a critique of the NY, right? You know, you gotta critique what's going on today and shit. Like, this is not the Bible where, you know, we paying we paying for sins of people we don't even know. Just two people. Now all of us gotta suffer. But that's on King, BC Round. What's going on, BC Round? Have y'all had any discussions about getting an NBA team out there in the great state of Missouri? DC Round has deep seated eight. He has deep seated eight for New York because we have a basketball team. I was watching. Speaking of that, it's funny that you brought this up too because I was watching another one of his videos. The guy from Barbershop Conversations is debating Wesley Muhammad. They having some kind of, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a debate, but they having a discussion concerning these topics, and the topics of his wives and all of that. Stuff like that is it's interesting. So Vegas and Seattle is getting teams. I don't know. They're not gonna be able to shut West Coast wise up if Seattle gets a team. He said he didn't make it through processing class because he kept bringing up Malcolm. He's bitter because he couldn't claim the title of the FOI. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, if he said that, like I said, man, see, first of all, they own description, right? Malcolm was like family to them. So see, we could never know the whole, that's some inner working stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you constantly trying to figure out what's going on with Elijah and Malcolm. Like, listen, man, they got their own relationship, man. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna move New Orleans and Memphis to the Eastern Conference. I see if they put those other two teams over there. Yeah, no, too interesting to me. Supreme God born. I mean, like I said, in terms of that stuff, you know what I mean? It's I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I could just say that look, there were some things that I never heard before, and since I've seen those videos, I've asked some people, like the one brother who said that he came to the rally, that he had the knowledge, and not that he did, matter of fact, he did. He said he came to the rally and said something about I asked this brother, you know what I'm saying, if he know him, you know what I mean? So, he's gonna watch the video, but some of the things that he's saying, like he said that Allah was teaching that one day we would have to go back in the mosque. So see, like I said, listen, if me and that brother had a conversation, I wouldn't argue with him about the 60s. But I will say that, listen, y'all show all these pictures and stuff in these videos, but I know some of these people personally. They've been in my house, I've been in their house. And that's not what they told me. See, certain people was told, look, you can't handle this, you go back in the mosque. That there never was no blanket instruction to go into the mosque. I've never heard that. And I know people that go over it, for whatever, I don't know who knows what they go over it. I've never been. And none of them said that that was any kind of instruction that was given. You know what I'm saying? You got another brother, he said, Omar Shabazz had a lot of information about us. I did like the source lesson he used for that. He used, but that was another thing that, he was saying that, that in the dude Omar Shabazz was saying that Allah and what he described as an hit squad surrounded Ubika. And in the story, right, they surround Ubika and Allah's there. Allah surrounds him with all of them. Right? And so whatever's going to happen, Black Messiah says, yo, that's Ubika right there, go to the peace with us or whatever. Then they get into a huddle and they decide not to do that to him, and they come back and then they're like, yeah, yo, you good or whatever. And I'm like, all right. There's some things that is levels to, G, it's levels. Now, Black Messiah, right, is that's the ace. Definitely no question. But bro, first of all, the line never would have surrounded you with for what? For leading? Like, how do you got this dude in the video saying that Allah told people to go back in the mosque, right? But then you telling this other story that when Ubika decided he's going back in the mosque, that they surrounded him. But he told y'all to go in the mosque. That's one level. The other level, like I said, Black Messiah, he's that guy. But if Allah has said to her Ubika, do you really think Black Messiah he's gonna say, nah, y'all ain't gonna do this shit. Nah. You know, some of this stuff, man, listen, man, people have lived their life, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's a record, man. There's a track record there. You know what I'm saying? Of what and how people do. So, if that did happen, I'm just saying that, look, that was supremely out of character, bro. And look, I asked brothers about it, it's like, nah, ain't no shit like that happening. So, there's that, there's a couple of inaccuracies, but see, look, that's what happens when you give the narrative over. Because this is not, see, that's what people come in all the time. Y'all got some literature? No. Because see, like I said, this is 3D, man. This got depth over here. Length, width, and depth. So see, without somebody, this is a culture, something that you gotta live out. It could be anything. It could be, look, you see all types of motherfuckers, people living in the Mongolian Asian steppes. And I see them on TV with the clothes that they got on and stuff. But I can't really, if I took over the narrative and try to tell a story only based on the research, but not having no experience, it's not come out. So see, that's why when you see these different, whatever, you never see my name. You never see it here. We talk to Darkim Be AllahChrist. See, even with that, shout out to Sinai, they got some issues going on over there. But that's why I never went on. Whoever can't get it the regular way, the books is closed. Don Bishop. Jeremiah Monson, the Lord was speaking on the good progress with lack of discipline to go back into the mosque. The father wanted the brothers with no discipline to go back in the mosque. So I'm saying something. He said it was funny how he said Allah cussed out Captain Joseph. Captain Joseph was eating pork. He didn't say he was eating pork. He said he was serving pork. Why you gonna put Yusuf Shah in the bus like that? He said he was serving pork. Hey, listen, half of one, six a dozen of the other. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah, I never heard about that stuff neither. All that stuff in the back of the Apollo and all that. I don't know about that. There was I would have to brush up on that stuff. I had to go, but yeah, there was, something in terms of Captain Joseph being made to know that, look, we're not coming to the box. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't hear it like that, but that could have happened. Now, Abdul Rahman here, right, said that people who lack discipline, you go back to the minds, right? Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to suggest something to you. I'm going to suggest something to you. That in the minds, you do not gain discipline. See, if you do the right thing under fear of penalty, that is not discipline. That's what I'm asserting right now. See, that's being disciplined by someone. But that's not discipline. See, discipline, right, is when I do it I do it because it's the principle. Not that I'm going to be kicked out of the mosque. I ain't going to get no papers. You know, I'm being bad standing. Right? Let me give you another example. Right? The person who goes to prison, right? The drug addict who goes to prison and they kick him there because it's a regiment. But when they come out, they go right back to the drugs because they don't have discipline. See, this is what takes discipline. See, to study your lessons, right? And not just do the bare minimum, right? Because we don't have to worry about it because Master's coming back on the wheel. Nah, this is what takes discipline. See, it takes discipline, right? Lord got returned. See, we immediately resurrected G. See, immediately all the instructions, all of the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom that brothers was getting went into activation. That was discipline. But when the leader goes and we go in a million different directions, was that discipline? And look, shout out to my brothers, you know, the NYs, my brothers. I tell everybody else, look, we talk about each other. That's what brothers do. You know, outside people, I don't like to talk about. So I'm just saying that all this talk that this is the side without the discipline, I disagree with that. I would like to see what any of them do without general orders and restrictive laws. Are you really righteous if you did what you did out of fear? If you did it right because you thought the red man under the ground was going to get you, or that you wasn't going to make it into the pearly gates, was you really righteous? You think your righteousness will be limited, right? To when you have to have the discipline to keep that principle, even when you might pay the price. That's discipline. So I'm just saying. Mike Smith. Hey, Mike Smith, what was that question you asked me? Oh, yeah. That's, you know, you got a lot of new people. So if he wanted all of them to go back to the mosque, he wouldn't have had them change their names from Arabic to English. I wouldn't exactly say Arabic to English, but yeah, what you want. Exactly. We stop wearing a flag, right? Changed our names. What part they don't understand is a great point you just made right there. You know what I'm saying? What part do you not understand? The final instruction was teach on. That was the final instruction was teach on. So who knows what they talking? I got sincerely. So yeah, I typed the videos the some of the places where I can see some of the excerpts. But I'm telling you right now, if you type in Allah's Muslim name, you get a lot of things up there now. You know what I'm saying? He said, how do I feel about why now X? I don't know who that is. Why now X? Uh, Wait a minute, have I heard that name? I mean, I might have heard the name, but I don't know. What is his claim to fame right now? Is he like the newest, you got Wesley and Nuri Muhammad and what's the other guy? The guy with the specs. Is he in that young vibrant Rizza is wrong, yeah, that guy. Is he like one of the young dragons like them? Yeah, really, in general, I don't have any. I mean, I do the knowledge to most of this stuff. Man. Most of what other people was talking about, a lot of that stuff, and you're trying to track down the Ark of the Covenant and all this kind of stuff, man. I ain't into it. So Charleston White and Farrakhan didn't do nothing for black. Well, look, Farrakhan had my issues with some of the stuff he started teaching. I think putting them in a category with Charleston White. I think that's pushing it a little. Even though I don't know how true it is, but the dude that always beat with Charleston White claimed that Charleston White does do a whole bunch of stuff with kids, you know. But in terms of Farrakhan, yeah, I mean, that's a whole discussion. It's a fair discussion. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta realize that you can only have that discussion with people that's not religious. And by not religious, I don't just mean religious Islam. See, some of y'all believe in Blackianity. You have to, you can't talk to some of these people that believe in Blackianity, and you try to, just in terms of critiquing a statement or a book or whatever it is that the person made, you know what I'm saying, in the past, but then if you put the person as holy, right, and they word as gospel, now, it seems like blasphemy for you. So, it's a fair conversation, but gotta have it with non-religious people. Like, shit. Well, listen, in terms of that, Mike Smith, you know, see, God said if you want to see me, you gotta come together. And so, I took a different approach to that, right? Where I didn't, everybody necessarily wasn't in one place, but see, I went to different people. It's not one group of people from Medina or Pilon or Mecca or the desert, right? That I learned. See what I'm saying? And see, I'm 5%. So I'm not one to just come out with so much speed to condemn 5%. See what I'm saying? To where it's like, okay, if person A tells you something and person B tells you something, right? Those are two unique people that had two unique experiences with love. See, the bottom line is that this knowledge developed over time. The seed was planted in 1964. But see, like you said, from the flag to our names, right? All of these different things developed over time so that if you got the knowledge in 1964, right, you might not necessarily got what you got in 1966 or what you got in 1968. So see, you gotta ask all those questions, right? Or take that into consideration when you listen to people. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that becomes odd, right? It's just, see, you diminish what the meaning of a grown man is when you tell me that is one person that knows everything about it. You tell me that is one person that knows anything, that knows everything about any grown-ass man, especially when those people are children, and you think one person can encapsulate all their wisdom and understanding, you are a damn fool. So just in terms of, look, this is not, this is for the people who are here to understand what I'm telling you about how you should go about knowledge and history of the nation. Nobody was there every day. Allah was a grown ass man, like, look, Allah got power you, man. Brothers ain't rolling. You ain't rolling then, bro. Allah went home, see his family. So at the end of the day, be well rounded in your third eye, as you observe what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But see, like I told you when you asked me the first time, listen, these people are new now. And so they got to go through the levels that, see, for me, like I said, that kind of conversation, we did that in high school. Like I said, right now, I need 10 brothers so we can go over to this community board meeting where they requested the presence of the gods and earths, right? Because of the power that we showed when we went over there when they was considering putting the street sign. Came from all 5 boroughs, Long Island. I think some brothers from Jersey might even do it. So, at the end of the day, you gotta see how everybody comes out. See, sometimes you gotta look at that. That's what they still in the midst of doing. Like I said, they got to learn those other examples, G. They gotta learn from the examples. And then the ones that's not followers, they're gonna learn lessons from those examples. And the ones that is followers, they're gonna just keep repeating them stories. So they gotta do their thing. You know what I'm saying? But those of us that look, we passed the number line, G. I'm past the number line. See, when you first get into school, that's what they try. Count to 50, count to 100. You know what I mean? You add a little 3 + 2 and all that. You see, I'm a master algebra, I'm a master of knowing. I know how this motherfucker already be. Can't put no X there. I know how to do this. See, I know the science of geometry and how these ideas, right, have physical representations. You know what I'm saying? When you go to math class and you start plotting those points on the graph, right? It's showing you, it's taking those abstract concepts of just a number line and putting them in space, right? First you learn that, like I said, you gotta get that, right? First you just got the x-axis and the y-axis, right? But then you get out to the trigonometry and the calculus, and now you get into the z-axis. You see, you can't destroy the number line just because you got it, you know what I'm saying? You can master the calculus now, you're an engineer, you can't destroy the number line. So let the brothers, man, be on the number line. You understand what I'm saying? You know, one of the best things that Prince ever told me is, look, you teach what you teach, and they teach what they teach. Yeah, listen, if I had fully understood what that meant when he told me that, at the time, he was telling me something specific. Like there was a specific situation that happened where I was told, listen, stay from over there. You teach what you teach, they teach what they teach, and that's that. But see, I just looked at it in reference to that situation. If I had seen the principle of it from then, yeah, I would say a whole bunch of time in it. We look, God, we spent days arguing over dumb shit back in the days. As y'all cool guys is down, you know, and there's such a thing as hacker Richard. Can the black man be deaf? How many points on it? We did that. You know, it's just not for me now. Our clear right mind said he wants to fish me into the mines. Why would I? Why would I go to the mines? Like, give me. See, because I don't see the is it. What do you want you talking about? First of all, if you ain't talking about the NOI, it's not even a chance. If you ain't got no chance in me getting involved in no shit shooting stuff. But which one you talking about? And then Temple never said. Now see, this is what I mean. How do I go from knowing what I know now to having somebody tell me that fire is coming back on the wheel? Like how do I go from that to that? Yeah, I'm going to be, look, that is, how you try to fish me, that's the bait. You gotta put that bait on the hook right there. You gotta let me know. How, after knowing what I know now, right, can I go back to, believing that the baby planes had a battle with the United States Air Force in 1942. See, bro, look, let me tell you something. The mosque is not for people like me. See, the mosque is regimented. You see what I'm saying? See, somebody that got the creative power that I have, you gotta stand on the line, bro. I'm jumping the line constantly, man. So how did that work and shit? And see, you said you hit it right there. See, in math class, they always ask you to show your work. You might quote the answer, but they want you to prove how you came to that conclusion. You see, that's where you catch the fellow. Because when it's time to show and prove, all you could do is tell me what somebody else. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that person saying it. There's nothing wrong with you knowing that they say it. You see, if they said it and it's right and exact, then you should be able to show and prove it right now on your own. If I ask you why 2 + 2 is 4, you ain't gonna say because Miss Brown told me that in first grade. If you helping your child with their homework and you showing them how to add these numbers right here, you're not gonna say, well, look, that's what Miss Brown said it is. So look, that's just you gotta memorize it the way Miss Brown said it is. Or you're gonna show them how to count their fingers or make lines or whatever it is they might need to help them until they get it all down pat. So you gotta separate yourself. So where's all the guys from the desert who are like mines? I see some brothers who claim they are God, also from the desert who still need to clean themselves up. Dudes ain't repping my borough. I mean, look, that's what I'm saying. There's some people that want to be followers, man. They see all that 23 signs of shit. Motherfuckers want to be Muslim so fucking bad. You see, you got a lot of people, man, that they're here for salvation. They're here, they think this is the final frontier. This is the final frontier. You know, y'all know the black man's God, man. I'm gonna need none of that. Yo, I'm talking shit about white. And that's the final frontier for them. It's not even knowing the lessons, let alone drawing something up from them. So just in general, that's what's happening. You have a lot of people that they follow. Look, you follow Brand Nubian into this. You follow Wu-Tang into this. You followed your big cousin into this. You see, you never really sat down with yourself and asked yourself, man, do you really see, like, look, I have people ask me that. You ain't never see us in this room when you out there like that, when you out there where everybody see you, motherfuckers sound me out time before I ask me like, yo, bro, you really believe you got this shit? You know, if they see me, I'm where I'm like, yo, man, you seem like you really believe this shit. You see, have you asked yourself that? See, I use the word believe because the person who asked me was they was religious. So that's the way they asked me the question. But do you really see yourself as God? Have you really shaken off even the idea, the concept that God is a magical white man that lives in the sky? See, because you done shook off the concept that the devil is a magical red man living in the ground. You change that for he's a magical white man that lives in Midtown. And see, some people, when it comes down to it, they see, look, if you hear me talking about Allah in the third person, I'm talking about gentlemen and yeah, I'm talking about Allah. The, see that restaurant on 12th Street. You know, when people start talking about Allah, you know, like we read the Quran or something. He said, salute